Our Prime Minister is on a 2-day visit to Japan, strengthening the amicable relationship we have with Japan. And in this video, we will be discussing India-Japan bilateral relations through multiple angles. Hello and welcome to Drishti IAS. My name is Saloni Nankyolier. Let's get started. So our Prime Minister has already begun his 2-day visit to Japan, and this is going to be his 8th trip since 2014. So he has been visiting Japan frequently. In fact, this trip is a part of a broader diplomatic tour that he's on to for the SCO summit, where he'll also visit China. So this is what the news is. But what is important for us from an examination point of view is India-Japan bilateral relation and also the timing of this visit. Because if you notice, US has imposed a 50% tariff on us. We're dealing with that. But in order to counterbalance that, it becomes extremely important that we diversify our partnerships. We strengthen our partnerships with other East Asian countries and Southeast Asian countries and basically strengthen our Act East policy. And that is what India is planning to do with this visit also. In fact, there are talks that Japan might invest some $68 billion in India. So this visit is important from a trade and investment perspective also. But not just trade and investment, we already have some good partnerships with Japan across different sectors, which we will be talking about throughout the video. But before that, I want to take you through the historical background of India-Japan relations. Because whenever you are analyzing the bilateral relations of two countries, if you start from a historical perspective, you get a holistic view. So for India and Japan also, it started in the 6th century. So it's centuries old, when Buddhism basically spread to Japan through India. Buddhism spread to Japan through India via China and Korea. So it started in the 6th century. And then in 752 CE, there was an Indian Buddhist monk. His name was Bodhisena. And he attended the consecration of the Buddha, the great Buddha, at Todaiji temple in Nara. So you'll notice that we have shared heritage, shared cultural heritage, shared spiritual heritage with Japan, where our ties go back to centuries ago. So ancient times also we had relations with Japan. Then during the colonial era also, in 1893, when Swami Vivekanand, he was traveling to Chicago to deliver his famous speech, he had stopped on the way to visit Japan because he was deeply impressed by the modernization and the discipline of Japan. So while going to Chicago, he had stopped to visit Japan. So we have had ties in the colonial era also. Our poets, our philosophers, they've also exchanged ideas on nationalism, on art and culture. Like Rabindranath Tagore also interacted with a couple of Japanese philosophers and poets. So these things have been there. In fact, our freedom struggle was also supported by many Japanese, like the Indian National Army of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. This also received support from many Japanese during the World War II. So we have had ties with Japan in the colonial era also. Our freedom struggle was also supported by Japan. Then in the post-war period, 1952, we signed a peace treaty with Japan. And Japan became one of the first countries with which we signed such a treaty. So this basically strengthened our bilateral relations with Japan, our sovereign bilateral relations with Japan. And after this, in the modern world, we have had a series of partnerships with Japan. In 2000, we became a global partner. So global partnership in 2000, where we basically opened our sectors. We agreed to collaborate across sectors, both the countries, they agreed to collaborate on different sectors with each other. Then in 2006, we upgraded to strategic and global partnership. This means that we opened our strategic sectors like defense, technology, global cooperation, economic cooperation for each other. So 2000 was global partnership, 2006 was strategic and global partnership, and 2014 was special and strategic global partnership, which means all of the above sectors plus a long-term vision of development with each other, where we want to act together also with each other in the regional space also and also in the global space. So defense sector is also there, very strategic sectors are also there, and we also have a long-term vision of development with each other. So this basically tells us the amount of trust both the countries they have with each other, because they have a long-term developmental goal also. So this has been our chronology of ties with Japan. So it started in the ancient times, that was also there in the colonial period, and it has been there and only strengthening in the modern period. So we have had ties, we have had partnerships with Japan across different sectors in the modern space, like strategic and security cooperation. So like in 2008, we signed a declaration on security cooperation, and this marked the cornerstone of our bilateral defense ties. And then we've also had regular joint military exercises like the Malabar military exercise, which includes Japan as well as the US. So we have these partnerships across different sectors. And this visit, PM Modi's visit, is only going to strengthen this existing partnership that we already have with Japan. Next, if we talk about the economic and trade relations, so we have robust and strong trade relations with Japan, where our current bilateral trade, it stood at around $22.8 billion in 2023-24, where we export and import a lot of items with Japan in different goods and commodities. And Japan has been India's largest ODA, Official Development Assistance Provider, since 1958. Now, what is ODA? Official Development Assistance Provider is basically any official partner, like any public agency or any government that basically provides grants to developing nations for their developmental projects. So Japan has been our largest ODA provider since 1958, and it has helped us with many of our infrastructure projects like the Delhi Metro project. Then we also have Mumbai-Ahmedabad high-speed rail or the bullet train project. So Japan has been helping us in many of our developmental projects. Next, if we talk about the development and infrastructure cooperation, so as I already told you that this ODA basically has helped us in Delhi Metro development, it has helped us in Mumbai and Ahmedabad bullet train development, and it has also helped us in Northeast India's development through Japan-India Coordination Forum. So infrastructure wise also Japan has been helping us in a lot of things, and culturally also we have very strong ties with Japan in the form of cultural city twinning. This basically is an idea where two cities of two countries, they collaborate with each other, they learn and they exchange ideas with each other. Like from India we have Varanasi, and from Japan we have Kyoto. So both these cities, they are ancient cities, they are cultural cities, they are spiritual cities, and under this cultural city twinning program, they collaborate with each other, they exchange ideas and they learn from each other in different things, in infrastructure development, in urban planning, in art and culture development, in basically a lot of sectors. And we have this kind of a twinning project with other countries also, like China also we have something, with Japan we have, so we have this kind of a project going on with other countries also. Now, if we look at the regional and multilateral collaboration, because this became extremely important since 2014 when we became a special and strategic global partner with Japan. So we have something called the FOIP, which is Free and Open Indo-Pacific, because both these countries, they believe in the idea of having a free and open Indo-Pacific, and this also aligns with India's Sagar initiative. Security and growth for all in the region. So this aligns with our vision also, where we want to have a free and inclusive Indo-Pacific region, and it should not be dominated by any one country. And then India and Japan are also together in the Quad arrangement. Then we are also together in the International Solar Alliance arrangement. So we basically are partnering with Japan in a lot of sectors, in a lot of agreements, in a lot of different domains and different sectors that we are together with Japan. And this is only going to increase and strengthen more with the visit of our Prime Minister in Japan. So that was all for today's video. I hope you understood how our ties, how our historical ties have evolved since the ancient times, and why India-Japan bilateral relations are so important for India. Thank you for watching the video. Now let us practice a question for prelims. Which of the following statements about India-Japan relations is or are correct? India and Japan elevated their bilateral ties to a special strategic and global partnership in 2006. Japan has been the largest ODA provider to India since the 1950s. Both countries are part of the FOIP framework and work together in the Quad. Select the correct answer. 1 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only, all of the above. Please provide your answers in the comment section and we will meet in the next video.
अब एग्जाम की तैयारी को और बेहतर करने के लिए हमारे चैनल को लाइक, शेयर और सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलें।